How many games will the Baltimore Ravens win in 2026? What's going on, Ravens Nation, or Ravens fans, or as I say, Flock Nation? It's your boy, Man Jones here, and we back with another NFL record prediction. And this time we'll be doing our NFL record prediction for the Baltimore Ravens for the 2026 NFL season. I'm going to go give you my game analysis, my game picks, and my thoughts, see which game I think the Ravens will win and which game I think the Ravens will lose. So before I give you my record prediction for the Baltimore Ravens for the 2026 NFL season, don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel, more option, and comment down your opinion below to see what you guys, how far you think the Ravens will be. Do you think the Ravens are going to make the playoffs this year? Do you think they're going to win their division, or do you think they're going to miss out on the playoffs? Just let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. So week one, they kicked things off against the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, this game right here can go either way. Now, I know most people could be picking the Colts to win because they're at home. I mean, the Colts pretty much, they got a decent defense led by Lou Anarumo, but they're very soft at times. And their O-line is not great. Their receiving core outside of Alec Pierce may not be as great, post Michael Pittman being gone. I mean, Josh Downs okay, but he's not really a deep threat. Tyler Warren's already a stud. I mean, John Taylor's a beast. So, yeah, I think this game will be fun to watch. But I'm going to go with the Ravens to win this game because I just really think that, the Ravens are pretty much the more complete team. Um, they have the better quarterback. And I just really think that the Ravens offense is going to make more plays than the Colts because the Colts, like I said, they pretty much got a weaker defense. And I like to play a lot of man coverage a lot. And I think, the Ravens, I feel like, Lamar Jackson can do enough to spread the Colts secondary out. And I just really think that when you look at the Ravens defense, I kind of really feel like the Ravens defense will make more plays because I feel like as long as they can stop the run and contain Jonathan Taylor, they should be fine. As long as they don't give up big explosive pass plays, they should be fine. And I just really think that, Alec Pierce, like they got some great weapons like Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, but they don't really have a lot of like explosive weapons on offense that can really get past the Ravens defense. Because the Ravens got great corners that can really man up against the Colts pass catchers, which I think they can do that and hold up against that, where they can force Daniel Jones to beat them. I'm not sure Daniel Jones is going to be back by week one. So, yeah, but if he's there, I think the game will be a lot closer. But if he's not, I feel like the Ravens are going to beat them down. So, feel like the game will be closer and will be competitive. But I think the Ravens will win because I think their defense will make more plays, and I think their offense will make more plays as well. But I think the only reason that I think the Colts will win this game is that their defense can defend them more, and then their offense can at least like make some more plays. So I think the Ravens win this game easily on the road. Week 2 against their home opener against the Saints. I actually got them beating the Saints because the Saints are just a much more complete team. I mean, the Ravens are a better team overall, better quarterback. They're at home. And the Saints, I don't think they're a good team. I mean, their defense was like top 10. It was better than the Ravens. But their offense wasn't anything special, though. I mean, yeah, I mean, I really think that, the Saints defense at times is very soft. So I think Lamar Jackson, I think they can do enough offensively to at least like I think they could do enough offensively to get past, the Saints defense because I don't think the Saints defense is anything special. And I kind of really think that Derrick Henry can have a good game too. And I think Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews have a good game because I don't really think the Saints really have a lot of good corners or safeties that can really man up against the Ravens pass catchers. So I think the Ravens offense will make more plays. I think the Ravens defense will make more plays as well. So So yeah, so I think they can do that, and then the Saints don't really have a deep receiving core. I mean, they have Jordan Tyson and Chris Olave, but Chris Olave is like their best receiver. Like they don't have a lot of great receiving threats that can really get past or threaten the asses of the Ravens secondary. Which the Ravens do have good corners that can man up against Chris Olave, so they can take him out of the game. But the Saints did add Travis Etienne to the running back room along with Alvin Kamara. So as long as if you can contain the and stop the run, they should be fine there. So yeah, so I think the Ravens find a way to win that game. Week 3 against the Dallas Cowboys. This game's in Brazil. This is going to be a fun game to watch. I can definitely see this game definitely going either way. Um, I can really see an offensive game. This could be totally my game of the week. Now, the Cowboys, I feel like are probably going to be a better team this year. I mean, they added multiple guys. They added multiple guys like they added multiple guys like on the defense. Like they did improve their defense. Like they added like Malachi Lawrence and Caleb Downs to the draft. They added Rashawn Gary to the D line. They added D Winters to improve their linebacking core along with Overshown. They added multiple safeties like Jalen Thompson and PJ Locke. So I think the Cowboys are pretty much better on defense than they were last year. So yeah, but their offense could be a challenge though. I mean, they can throw the ball, they can run the ball. Like it was like a top 5 offense last year. And Dak's pretty much a top 10 quarterback this year. So I could see a spot where the Cowboys can win this game, like if the Ravens defense does not hold up. Because sometimes the Ravens like to play a lot of man coverage. And when you play a lot of man coverage against the Cowboys, that open things up for Dak. So yeah, so I think it's gonna be a good game here. I think it's gonna be close. But I could totally see Dallas pulling off a win here. But I'm going to go with Baltimore to win this game to go 3-0 because I just think the Ravens are a better team overall. I think they pretty much have a better defense than the Cowboys because the Cowboys defense may not believe it's going to be good like they thought it would be. But I think the Ravens pretty much have a better defense overall. I think they have more talented defense, which I think their defense will make more plays. And I think their offense will make more plays as well because with Lamar Jackson, because the Cowboys do struggle against mobile quarterbacks at times. And I kind of remember last year when Jesse Minter was the Charger defense coordinator, like the Chargers did beat the Cowboys down, and he really had a good game plan against them. I think he's going to have a good game plan against them again, especially in Baltimore, because the Ravens got good corners that can man up against the Cowboys receivers. I think George Pickens and Marlon Humphrey will be a really good matchup. CeeDee Lamb versus Nate Wiggins can be a really good matchup. Kyle Hamilton versus Jake Ferguson will be. So yeah, and which that will force like Dak to beat you and all that. So yeah, so I think the Ravens win this game convincingly, and the Cowboys with the weakness is like their pass defense. Like they got some good guys in the secondary, but they can't cover. So I think Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews will have a day here. Derrick Henry can have a good game here if the Cowboys run defense doesn't get a stop. So yeah, so as long as you can stop the run against Dallas, you should be fine. As long as you don't give up big plays against George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, I think you should be fine as well. So yeah, I think the Ravens is gonna go into Brazil and win that game. Then week 4 against Tennessee Titans, I think they're gonna beat the Titans because the Titans, I feel like they're a disaster. They got a new coaching staff, a new head coaching style, who I'm not a big fan of. I think the Ravens, the Titans don't have a great offensive line, but they did improve the wide receiver position through the draft. But it don't matter. Their offense is no longer good. They don't have a good run game. Their defense is okay. Their D line is okay, but their pass defense might not be as good. So I think the Ravens are probably gonna at least like. I think their defense is gonna find a way to at least like I think the Ravens defense is going to find a way to at least like they're going to find a way to at least like overwhelm the Titans because the Titans offensive line is a joke. And I kind of really think that when you look at the Ravens corners, I feel like their secondary can find a way to at least like hold up against the Titans receiving core, which that can put the Titans offense in a bad position where they can force Cam Ward to beat you, which they're not going to do that though. Because the Titans can't run or throw the ball, and especially the Ravens got a great pass rush that can really like overwhelm the Titans' offensive line. So yeah, and this could totally be the Derrick Henry revenge game as well. So I think Derrick Henry can have a good game here, and the Titans secondary is not anything special. So I think Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews can have a day, and Bateman can have a day as well. So I think the Ravens find a way to win this game easily. Then week 5 against the Atlanta Falcons, Sunday Night Football in Atlanta. I actually think this is a Baltimore win here because I feel like Baltimore is an overall much more complete roster. They're a better team, and have the better quarterback. Now, I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Falcons, whether it's going to be Michael Penix or it's going to be Tua turn the ball over. I don't know who's going to be. The Falcons, they do got some good pieces on offense like Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. I think the Falcons, like, I feel like there's a chance Atlanta wins if they can run the ball and if their defense can find a way to defend them more, but I don't see it, though. Like last year, Atlanta won a primetime game on Sunday Night Football where their defense did win the game, but I don't think Atlanta is going to be anything special because for one reason, I just don't think Atlanta's defense is that great. And I just don't really think, like they do got some young players on that defense, but I'm not sure if their defense is good enough to at least like cover the Ravens or stop the Ravens. I mean, their defense was like mid at best. I mean, they were terrible against the run, but they had a great pass defense. But Atlanta sometimes are soft at times, but they play a lot of man and zone coverage. But when they play man or zone coverage, when they playing soft there, I think it opens things up for Lamar. I think Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and Bateman can have a good game. I think Derrick Henry can have a good game as well. I think the Ravens offense can go in there and overpower them. So, and I don't think the Falcons are going to be able to do much offensively, especially in the run and passing game to do that. So yeah, so I think the Ravens find a way to win this game. Then week 6 against the Cleveland Browns. I actually think you're going to split with the Browns. So I'm going to say the Ravens get their first loss of the season, lose to the Browns in Cleveland. Because I kind of really think that, the Browns, they usually play the Ravens tough every year. Even last year they did as well, where they almost did win the game. But I kind of really think that the Browns, I mean, they did lost Myles Garrett. They lost, Jim Schwartz to the coaching staff, but they did add Jared Verse in there to replace him, which that's nice. Carson Schwarzenegger, defensive rookie of the year, is still there. They still got Denzel Ward. So the Browns defense is very tight right now. I can totally see the Browns, I mean, I could see a place where the Browns can win this game because I think their defense is going to find a way to win this game at home in their home building. And I think this is where the Ravens offense is going to like fall apart here. So yeah, I think the Browns are going to win this game here to give the Ravens their first L of the season. Then week 7 against the Cincinnati Bengals, I think they bounce back and beat the Bengals at home because I just really think that the Ravens pretty much own them. Lamar pretty much owns the Bengals defense. And I think the Ravens defense can do enough to at least like defend Burrow and all that. And I think they can and I think, they got good corners. They can really man up against the Bengals receivers. So I feel like as long as you don't give up big plays to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, I think you should be fine winning this game here. And the Bengals defense did improve a little bit, but they're very soft at times. So yeah, so I think that's why I think the Ravens are going to win this first game at home. Then week 8 against Buffalo Bills, I think you're going to lose that game against the Bills because I think the Bills are just a much more complete team and have the better quarterback. And playing Buffalo is tricky because of the fan base and all that. And then I just really think that the Bills, are going to do enough to control the clock, keep Lamar off the sidelines and all that, which that could allow the Bills to win the game. But I wouldn't be shocked if Baltimore win the Buffalo and won that game. I mean, last year this game was in prime time, and Baltimore almost did beat the Bills. Like they were up by a lot of points until the Bills end up coming back on them and winning the game. And Derrick Henry had a good game that game, but still the Bills won the game, in which it was a shootout though in Buffalo. So that's something you got to remember. But I feel like the Bills' defense did improve a little bit. They added Bradley Chubb to the D line to replace Joey Bosa. Their secondary, like they got great corners, but I just really think that like Christian Benford and Maxwell Harrison, and they still got DeMar Hamlin as well, and they added Geno Stone in there too. Cole Bishop is there, so and they added C.J. Gardner-Johnson, so their secondary is pretty much stacked right now. So I just really think that that the Bills defense can do enough to hold up, and I think their defense can make more plays here against the Ravens offense. But I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to run the ball fairly. I know the Bills have a weaker run defense, but I think the Bills pretty much have a great pass defense that can really like man up against the Ravens receivers that can really force Lamar to beat them. And I think that the Bills offense can make more plays here because now they added DJ Moore to the receiving core now. So I think he can have a good game here. And I think, Kincaid can have a good game as well, too. And Josh Allen can make some magic here having in Buffalo. But when you play against man coverage against the Bills, and when you play soft zone coverage against the Bills, it opens things up for Josh. So basically, I think the Bills are going to win this game here in Buffalo. Then week 9 against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Thursday night short week in Baltimore. I think the Ravens bounce back and win this game here because I just really think the Ravens are just a much more complete team. They have a much more better quarterback. And I just really think that Jacksonville, like I think they're going to take a step back this year. I mean, they lost pieces on the defense like Devin Lloyd, and they lost Travis Etienne. I mean, they do have some great offensive weapons like Jacoby Myers and Brian Thomas. And their offensive line is mediocre, good at best, but it's kind of average. Their defense is fine. I mean, they have a great pass rush, but their secondary is very suspect. And I don't think Jacksonville really has the corners to at least like man up against the Ravens pass catchers. So I think Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews will be a problem, and they will have a good game as well. Bateman can have a good game as well. And Jacksonville likes to play. I mean, Jacksonville's weakness is their pass defense as well, and they play a lot of soft zone coverage, especially soft man coverage as well. So yeah, and I just really feel like that. The Ravens do have a better defense than the Jags because they got corners that can really man up against the Jags receivers. They have you guys do have the pass rush to get after Trevor Lawrence, and you guys can do enough to at least stop the run, get pressure, force Trevor Lawrence to beat you, and all that. Because Jags may not have a run game, so I think you guys will do a good job stopping the run. So yeah. So I think Baltimore wins this game here. And I think Jesse Minter is going to have a good game plan against Jacksonville's offense. So yeah. Then week 10 against the Los Angeles Chargers on the Monday night in Baltimore. This is back-to-back primetime games. I actually think this is a Ravens win here because I just really think that I just really think that the Ravens are just a much more complete team than the Chargers. And I just really think that that you pretty guys much own the Chargers. I kind of remember a few years ago, the Ravens did beat the Chargers down. They pretty much did. I mean, that's something you got to remember. They did beat the Chargers down. So yeah, like I don't even remember last time. I gotta look at the couple matchups that they did. So yeah, so basically the Ravens did beat the Chargers down. Like it happened like 3 times in a row. So yeah, I mean they beat them like in LA multiple times and they won at home against them. So yeah, I think the Ravens do match up well with the Chargers on paper really well. I feel like Ravens do have the pass rush to get after Herbert. They do have the secondary to man up against the Chargers receivers. I feel like Lad McConkey, Humphrey versus McConkey could be a really good matchup though. Nate Wiggins and Johnson could be a good matchup, and so is Kyle Hamilton and David and Joe could be a really good matchup that can really totally hold up on the Chargers to which they'll force them to run the ball, which you which which he'll like at least force you to beat them. Like he'll like you guys will probably hold up against the Chargers offense. With the Chargers offense will probably be their Achilles heel, which that can really force Herbert to beat you, which we know he might not. And I feel like Jesse Minter will get his revenge on the Chargers as well. So I feel like their defense will have a good game plan against the Chargers offense because they did that multiple times, and I feel like they can do it again. So yeah, and the Chargers do have a great defense, they have a great pass rush. Their secondary, I don't think the Chargers really have the corners to man up against the Ravens receiving core. So I think Zay Flowers and Bateman can have a good game here. So yeah, I actually think the Ravens are going to win that game for sure at home in Baltimore. Then next game, Week 11 against Carolina Panthers. I think this is a Baltimore win here because I think Baltimore is a much more complete team and have the better quarterback and have a better coaching staff as well. And I just really think that they're a much more complete team. I mean, I know the game's in Carolina, but Carolina, I don't think they're anything special this year. I mean, Bryce Young is kind of small. Their receiving core outside uh Tentero McMillan is not great. The O line is pretty solid. They made improvements, but the defense did improve by adding Jalen Fields and Devin Lloyd. Their secondary is pretty much decent, but they give up some big plays here and there, and they play a lot of man coverage. And when they play, I mean, I feel like the Ravens can do a good job beating that. Can do a good job beating Carolina's defense because Carolina's defense, I feel like is kind of mid, but I don't think it's anything special. Their offense, I feel like the Ravens do have much of a pass rush to at least like get after Bryce Young, make life difficult on him. I think they can do a good job stopping the run of Carolina. They can stop the pass of Carolina because Humphrey versus McMillan is a good matchup, but I think they're gonna but I think that can totally hold up, which that can really force Bryce Young to beat you, which he pretty much won't. But I could totally see Carolina winning this game, but I just think Baltimore is a much more complete team. And I think Baltimore's defense and offense will make more plays than Carolina as well, because I don't think Carolina's offense is anything good because they don't have a vertical passing game. And I think your defense will look fine there. So yeah, so I think the Ravens win this game here. Then week 12 against the Houston Texans. This game's in Houston. I think the Texans are going to win this game because the Texans are at home. Their defense is very good. They have a great defensive line. They have a great pass rush and a great secondary that can really give your offense some problems because they can stop the run. They can stop the pass. Yeah, I think they'll do a good job doing that against your receiving core and your run game. And the Texans' offensive line did improve, but I just think their receiving core is not good. The Texans' offense may not look pretty, but I think their defense can totally win them this game, though. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Ravens won because the Ravens do a really good job, not beating the Texans, like defending them. Like they do a really good job getting the Texans issue. I mean, we seen that a couple years ago where they really did beat the Texans down. Even last year when the game was in Baltimore, Houston went on the road in Baltimore and beat the Ravens down. And that was without Lamar. So that's something you got to remember. But I feel like this time with Lamar, I feel like Houston could totally beat them. But if Lamar's healthy, I think the Ravens can go in a row and beat them. If he's not healthy, I think the Texans will win. Either or, it doesn't really matter. But and they got a really good coach as well in Houston. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Baltimore won. I wouldn't rule out the Ravens winning, but I just think the Texans have the defense to at least make some plays against the Ravens offense. So yeah, I think the Texans win this game. And then they get a bye week 13. And after the bye week, they play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. I actually think this is a Ravens win here because I think the Ravens are just a much more complete team and have the better quarterback. And they're at home. And I think they pretty much have a better coaching staff as well. Because I think the Buccaneers, and especially, you're coming off a bye week, you have extra time to prepare and extra time to rest and all that. And also, the Bucs, I feel like you're going to take a step back this year. I mean, they lost several guys like Mike Evans. They lost him free agency. They lost Jamel Dean free agency. They lost Levante David, which he retired. I mean, the offense might not be the same as it was years ago. Even without Liam Cohen, the offense did not look the same. But the O-line is fine. I mean, they got some good players there. But the defense, they got young players. They did add some players there, but they're very predictable. And the Bucs pretty much do have a weaker defense. And Todd Bowles seemed like he's not a great coach. Like, he's good as a defensive coordinator, but not good as a head coach. I feel like the Ravens did have the number of the Bucs, and I kind of really feel like that the Ravens offense will have success against the Bucs defense. I feel like Zay Flowers will be a problem, and so is Mark Andrews as well, and Bateman will be a problem as well. I think Lamar Jackson's going to do enough to slice and dice a Bucs secondary up because the Bucs secondary is very suspect right now since Jamel Dean's gone. And I think the Ravens do have a better defense as well, which I think their defense will be better than the Bucs. I think they can do enough to at least get after Baker Mayfield, force Baker to beat you and all that. And I really think that your corners can do enough to at least man up against a Bucs receivers, which they don't have a great receiving core now since Mike Evans is gone. So yeah, so I think they can hold up against the Bucs receivers. So yeah, against Emeka Ibuka and Chris Godwin. So yeah. So I think Baltimore is going to win this game at home. Then week 15 they play against the Steelers and they play against them in week 18. So I'm going to say you're going to split the Steelers this year. So I'm going to say you lose to the Steelers the first game. Since the game's in Pittsburgh, since Pittsburgh's a very tough place to play at, and they always play the Ravens tough. I even see them sweep the Ravens last year. So yeah, that's something you got to remember. And then they got to play them in week 18. I think you're going to split with them. So I think you're going to win the last game here because I think you're going to want revenge because after last year, the Steelers did beat you guys twice, but I don't see it happening again. So I think the Ravens are going to win this first matchup against them because I think the Ravens are just a much more complete team. And I think they have a better quarterback as well. And I really think their defense is going to be much better than the Steelers because I think the Steelers are going to take a step back this year despite the additions that they add to the offense. I mean, the Steelers pretty much have a weaker O-line, and they have a weaker defense as well, too. I mean, their defense, they got some good players in there on defense, but they're getting old at some key positions. So I think their defense may not be as good as last year, so they could regress. So, yeah, and Mike Tomlin is gone, so they have a new coach in Mike McCarthy, which I think he's an okay coach, but he may not be as good as he was. So, yeah, so I think you guys are going to split with the Steelers this year. Then week 16 against the Browns, I actually think you're going to split with the Browns, so I'm giving the Ravens a win here because they're going to have more to play for, and the Browns going to be playing for nothing because the Ravens are trying to fight for a playoff spot. So, yeah, so I think, and especially the Ravens are at home, they're a more complete team and have the better quarterback as well. So I think the Ravens are going to win that game too at home. And then finally, I mean, week 17, they got to play against the Bengals on another Thursday night. They had to play on a short week. This is on New Year's Eve. But I'm going to give you guys the loss here against the Bengals and say you're going to split with them because I kind of really think the Bengals are probably going to have a lot to play for because the Bengals could be a team that could definitely make the playoffs or they could totally miss it. So, yeah, they're going to have a lot to play for because they could totally make the playoffs this year. And I think the Bengals I think the Bengals pretty much have a really good D line, and they pretty much improved their D line. I think they have a great secondary that did improve a little bit. So yeah, so that's something that you got that has to improve. I think the Bengals pretty much do have the weapons on offense to at least like get past, the Ravens defense because Jamar Chase pretty much owns their secondary and T. Higgins pretty much do. I feel like Joe Burrow can have a good game here. So yeah, so I think the Bengals win this game here at home. So right now I have the Ravens going 12-5, which that sounds about right for the Ravens, and it's pretty much good to make the playoffs and pretty much good to win division. 3-3 in the division, 7-5 in the conference, 8-0 at home, 4-5 away. So I think the Ravens are going to win that game for sure. So I think it's pretty much good for Baltimore. So yeah. So I feel like as long as the Ravens stay healthy, I mean, as long as Lamar's healthy, as long as the whole team stay healthy, I think they'll be back in the playoffs again. And I think they could totally be in fight for the AFC North crown. So yeah. But as you look at these games right here, like this is a pretty easy schedule because they have to play the worst division in football, which is the NFC South. They play the Cowboys. They play the Bengals twice. They play the Steelers twice. They play the Bills. They play the Jags. They play the Chargers. They play the Panthers that totally made the playoffs last year. They play the Texans as well, and the Steelers twice. So yeah, this is not really a bad schedule right here. It's kind of like an easier schedule than it was last year. So yeah, I feel like 12-5 sounds about right. I think the Ravens can go somewhere from like at least like 11 to 13 wins this year. And maybe they at least go at least like 10-7 at worst if everything goes wrong. Lamar Jackson misses a couple games, he declines a little bit, and the defense like declines a little bit. So yeah, so I think 12-5, 11-6, 13-4 sounds about right for them. So yeah, so just let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, how good you think the Ravens will be, and what's your prediction on the Ravens. So yeah, it's Emmanuel Jones, a big fan. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel so you can see more of my videos there. And especially, you can go on my playlist too and watch all my NFL record prediction videos. So yeah. So well, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.